In this video, I'm telling the story of a man who took an unfamiliar hiking trail deep in Arizona, far from crowds and civilization. What waited for him near the top would stay with him long after the hike ended. I had this happen to me on a walk in Arizona in 2015. The trail went through a short stretch of sand and then an open, medium-sized mountain with a canyon-like space at the top. I felt better when I went on 8 to 10 hour hikes by myself. It helped me forget about the stress of normal life. There wasn't any parking closed and it was really hard to find the trailhead. It didn't look like many people knew about the trail. It was hidden by a row of thick bushes, and the path was very weak and worn away. I never went out of my way to find trails with little or no traffic. But I also didn't like constantly running into other people on trails with a lot of traffic. So I wasn't worried about not knowing the path. The trees looked more and more dry until most of them looked like they were dead as I went down. A lot of them had fallen over the trail or had several thick branches fall off the trail. In the last few years, it had not been well taken care of. As I went further down, the road turned into a maze of thick, overgrown bushes. But the path stood out enough for me to know I was still on the trail, so I kept going. When I heard a noise coming from up the mountain though, it was very clear. I could barely make out the whistle and hold a few notes before it stopped. I have to say it was creepy and made me feel bad, but I thought someone else was on the trail. That was the only thing that made sense at the time. After 20 minutes, I hear the same gentle whistle again, but this time it is closer and stronger. But I wasn't going to leave the trail just because a guy was whistling close. This time I was a little more scared. I kept my pocket knife with me as I went up another quarter mile just in case. However, a tree had fallen right in the way. The thorny branches made it hard to get over, so I had to go around it. After taking a few steps to the right, I saw a small valley that looked like it used to be a river. But there was a small den made of big sticks right in the middle. I knew it had to be man-made because of how complicated it was. I started putting together the whistling and the room because I thought someone might be living here. Something about it made me feel bad, so I chose to leave right away. But that same whistle came from behind me right as I turned to leave the valley. As I quickly turned to face the room, fear made my heart stop. I was shocked to see a goat standing right behind the valley where I thought the whistle came from. As it stood there still, I felt like its eyes were looking right at me. It was also very big compared to other ones I had seen in the area. At this point, I was really freaking out inside and couldn't even understand what was going on. After a short time, I was able to calm down and slowly walk away while still facing it. But when I took a step back, it opened its mouth a little, which didn't seem right. Then it let out the same whistling sound I'd heard too many times before. Because I was scared, I ran down the mountain and fell several times on rocks and trees. I heard the whistle again. It was soft and echoed down the mountain. When I got to the end of the path, I hadn't told anyone about what happened because I was afraid they wouldn't believe me and would think I was a coward. But I didn't know about skinwalkers until recently. When I learned more about them, I realized that might be the only way to explain what I saw. He made it off the trail alive, but the questions never went away. What was really there, and why did it follow him? Some answers aren't meant for us. Would you dare hike that trail knowing what he experienced? Let me know in the comments. If you're brave enough for more, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell to join the journey into the unknown. Thanks for watching.